Velina Kako. Welcome to episode 8 of Hanohano Lānaʻi, a series brought to you by Love Lānaʻi. Through this series, we delve into the unique history and culture of our beloved home. On this episode, we continue to learn about Lānaʻi's diverse history. In the last episode, we discussed the major events that occurred on Lānaʻi beginning in 1922 with the acquisition of the island by James Dole that catalyzed the development of the island into the world's premier pineapple plantation. Dole began construction of Lānaʻi City in late 1922 and then initialized development of the deep draft harbor at Kaumalapa'u in 1923. In 1923, pineapple cultivation began with 300 acres of pineapple planted on the island. Pineapple cultivation steadily increased during the following years, peaking at the cultivation of 20,000 acres of pineapple by 1938. In that same year, Lānaʻi saw the largest post-contact population with an estimated 3,500 residents. In 1941, World War II came to Hawaii. When the war ended in 1944, the emergence of machine labor began to reshape pineapple plantation operations. Then, in 1947 and 1951, plantation workers carried out strikes to express concerns over low wages and poor living conditions. The 1951 strike lasted 201 days. When the strike ended, plantation laborers secured better pay, increased benefits, and for the first time, the opportunity to purchase homes in Lānaʻi City. Let's continue our learning today as we delve into the latter half of the 20th century on Lānaʻi. Ea'omai kako. In 1951, YOGN 42 was intentionally grounded off the coast of Lānaʻi in the vicinity of Kaiōlohia. The ship was used during World War II as a gasoline barge that carried fuel to aircraft carriers throughout the Pacific. The ship was decommissioned and struck from the Naval Register in August 1949. Interestingly, it was one of only a dozen or so ships that were constructed with a concrete hull. During both World War I and World War II, steel, conventionally used to build naval ships, was in short supply. Thus, ships were fabricated with rebar and concrete. Lānaʻi again saw a lot of change during the 1950s through the 1980s. In 1951, Lānaʻi Ranch operations ended. Pineapple operations expanded, thus, there was less land for livestock to graze, and ranching was becoming less of a feasible industry for Lānaʻi. In 1961, Castle & Cooke, a land development corporation, purchased the Dole Corporation. In 1973, Castle & Cooke unveiled plans to phase out pineapple cultivation and develop the island into a luxury resort destination. Then, in 1985, David Murdoch, a venture capitalist, acquired Castle & Cooke. Plans to transition the economy of Lānaʻi away from agriculture quickly transpired. A lot of changes were proposed, including privatizing Hulapoʻe Beach. A group of concerned residents formed Lānaʻians for Sensible Growth. LSG served as an advocate for community concerns, including the protection and preservation of historical and cultural sites, the continued access to shoreline areas for residents, and the conservation of natural resources. In 1987, LSG and Castle & Cooke entered into a memorandum of agreement that ensured the responsible use of natural resources, the continued accessibility of shoreline areas, and the protection of Lānaʻi's cultural treasures. On April 1, 1990, the original lodge at Ko'ele opened. It was built at the site of the former headquarters of Lānaʻi Ranch. The hotel opened with 102 rooms. The lodge exuded an aura of colonial-era elegance. The property featured an elaborate garden complete with a reflecting pool, elegant fountain, an orchid house, and a croquet lawn. The lodge also boasted the Experience at Ko'ele, an 18-hole championship golf course that opened later that same year. 1 year later, on May 4, 1991, the Manele Bay Hotel opened. The resort featured Mediterranean-style architecture and an Asian tropical fusion decor. There were 250 guest rooms. The Challenge at Manele, the 18-hole golf course adjacent to the property, opened in 1993. The course was designed by professional golfer Jack Nicklaus. 1992 marked the end of an era. In October of that year, the last harvest of pineapple occurred. 70 years of pineapple cultivation came to an end. In the years that followed, there were several efforts to diversify the island's economy, including cattle ranching, cultivating of onions, coffee, macadamia, and hay. The limited water supply on the island proved to be a continued challenge. In 2012, after many unsuccessful business ventures, including the failed development of a 20,000-acre wind farm, David Murdoch sold his interest in Lānaʻi to tech billionaire Larry Ellison for a reported $300 million. Since purchasing the island, Ellison refreshed both hotel properties and developed a hydroponic farm that produces fresh vegetables. Ellison and his land management company, Pūlama Lānaʻi, is also engaging in ongoing efforts to promote green energy use, restore the island's ecosystem, preserve the historical integrity, and expand opportunities for increased sustainability. I hope you enjoyed this episode. During the past 8 episodes, we covered 1.5 billion years of Lānaʻi's history. For your review, check out the interactive timeline available on learnlanaʻi.com. On the next episode, we'll delve into some of the ancient traditions that shaped the landscape. Also, don't forget to complete the quiz by clicking on the link in the description box below for your chance to win a $25 food and beverage credit. Thank you so much for watching. Aloha, ahui ho.